There we go. Anyways, welcome to the review portion of the last map we did, which was Unreal Tournament Left 4 Dead 2 style. Now, we never finished this. Just to
This
point
video,
this, we
this
got to the
review is going to be
finale.
very different.
This is the one where we couldn't just play it anymore. A lot of the reasons is I have work in the morning. That's
Time
part of.
constraints, pretty much.
Yeah, there's just so much we can do. So moving on from that, not only that this is the first one we have never completed, but it's mainly due to that finale, and we put about 2 hours in there. We got to the finale.
2 extra hours. We could probably have done it.
Well,
We put in the effort.
we put in the effort. We tried after try after try after try. This wasn't like anything we've come close to. I mean, even with the 27 tanks map that we did, that horrifying Death Hour game,
we could actually complete that one.
we could complete it, but we had 7 players technically, 3 of us and then 4 bots. We got away with it. This one,
We didn't have any bot support.
Yeah, it's just that not only that we had to where we're on the mountains. It's just that's the main reason why we just could not finish it. Everything.
This map does teach you its normal special infected can be much more lethal than the tank.
Yeah, and as you will be able to see, if you haven't seen the playthrough and you're just watching the review for some stupid reason, you'll see a part where there was no common, but there was special after special after special after special. It just didn't stop.
And then some magic bullshit smoker that got Keo from the floor and went through the wall.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with that. Anyway, let's get to the review part. This was Keo's pick technically, because he's the one that found it. So he gets first pick, then Dread, then me. Number of infected. Outside or inside doesn't matter. Did you think it was overwhelming, underwhelming, or the right amount, Keo?
Well, the commons, well, it depends on what part of the map you're looking at, really.
That is true.
I'll give it half a star, because, yeah, you will see. You will see.
Yeah. Dread?
I'm going to give it a half a star, too, because it's just pretty much depending on what part you're at.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 0. Not just because of that finale. There was parts where just the common would stop you. You could not get past it. We restarted on a couple of the parts. Yes, there was parts where we got past it, but then again, those ones didn't feel overwhelming. They felt really underwhelming. And that hurts it. When we look for the common infected, we want the right amount where it seems balanced, not overpowered or underpowered. The first part, it was underpowered for most part until we get tanks. Second part of that campaign, again, it was underwhelming. But the third part, suddenly, it was overwhelming. So
the first part,
it never really balanced itself out. That's the problem. So I have to say that it's a 0 for me. It's so unbalanced with it.
The first part is almost misleading because there's so few common infected, special infected. You think it's going to be too easy.
Yeah, then suddenly you get this overwhelming amount, and there was a point where I think all three of us were just looking for health anywhere, and we couldn't find it until we got to the safe room. It was just there was a point where we hit overwhelming, and the other parts were just underwhelming. The finale alone was completely overwhelming. There is no doubt in my mind that was an overwhelming part of the map. And so I can't give it any higher. I can't give it a half a star. I just can't. It's too unbalanced in terms of what a map should be. Moving on to length. Keo, what'd you think about that? We did play over 2 hours.
We did. I give it no
verging 3 hours.
I'll give it. I can't give it any stars for that because it does feel artificially lengthened by its difficulty.
True.
It's not naturally long. You keep playing through it.
Exactly.
over and over. Zero stalls. Length shouldn't be artificially lengthened like that.
Yeah. Okay. Tread.
I'm gonna have to actually agree. It the reason why it felt like it was so long was because we kept restarting and we kept dying and there's no hero closets or
Yeah.
no defibs.
That is true. I'll give it a half a star, only because this is Unreal Tournament, and Unreal Tournament is a fairly big game in and of itself, and this was a 7-part map. That's part is the reason why we did it. Resident Evil was a 7-part map, and that took us over 3 hours. We figured it would at least take us an hour and a half.
Yeah,
if
well,
we
we
did it
actually
that.
finished Resident Evil.
Yeah, we did finish it. Okay, and the only reason we're mentioning that game is because it's the closest that we can get it mentioned, even though we have yet to upload that review. And there's some problem with the footage. We'll get to that in another time. We'll explain it in that review when it
Probably
comes.
tomorrow.
Well, whenever that comes. Anyway, as far as why I'm giving it a half, is that if we got to the finale, it was about the 2-hour mark. Okay, and even at that, for a 7-part map, that was, and we did it blind, and that's pretty good compared to the Resident Evil map. It was just mainly the reason why it was lengthened, like you guys said, it was artificially. That's why I can't give it a full, but I can at least give it a half for at least getting us to the point where we can do it. We kept getting close call after close call, but eventually we just couldn't do it no more. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna give it a half star at the most. If we did pass it, I could give it a little more, but I don't know yet. We have to play that map on our own time again to even consider the thought of maybe changing our minds. Anyway, number
if we
3.
play it again, then we'll just make a short video explaining.
We'll make a response to this one. Number 3, difficulty. I'm guessing all 3 of us could agree that this was a 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way too hard. If we played it on, I'm betting that if we played it on easy, we would still be there for at least 2 hours from beginning to end.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with it. I'm always gonna agree with that. We had problems trying to find health. We had problems trying to find ammo. We had problems with too many specials being spawned.
At the beginning, it spawns those Jimmy Gibb ones that are really tough, and you need a melee, and they only give
pretty
you
much
one
needed melee. Yeah, there was that. There was just not enough weapons around when we needed them. There was no grenades when we needed them. There was just nothing. When we got them, yeah, it was nice, but we used them almost immediately because there was a fucking horde around. We didn't have the options. It was just so unbalanced. There was parts where it was completely
tedious.
Easy. Yeah, it was
and then
tedious.
there was also some pointless stuff, like at the second part when way up top there's that turret. What's the point of that even being there?
Yeah, there's that. There's also the very finale where on top of that castle there's a turret up there too. There's no reason to use it. There was just
get to it.
Well, yeah,
you can get to it. It's just facing the wrong way.
Yeah, it's just stuff like that. Its difficulty is just all over the place. There's one part where it's completely easy, and the next part it's completely fucking balls hard, and that's not fair, especially to your player. If you're trying to artificially create a normal difficulty, you balance every part of the map to normal difficulty. Not one that's, this is short, easy, they'll get through it easily fine, and then the next one making it super fucking long and incredibly hard too.
I mean,
yeah, because like at the finale, it makes you fight so many goddamn tanks, but there are so many spots that the tanks can just knock you off. Like, if they could easily knock out 3 people and then you just restart, you might as well just jump off the edge at that point.
Yeah, you have no options. There's just no way you're going to survive that campaign by yourself. Plus, there's no hero closets. That was a big problem that we all had. We didn't find it at all once throughout that entire campaign.
There were none.
That's a bad problem. If you don't have hero closets, you might want to fix that. That's a big issue. This is not versus. This is not
I think hardcore players could deal with that, not having hero closets.
Yeah. And so it's a 0. There is just no way they balance this game map at all. So
They need to remake it and rebalance
well, they
it.
don't need to necessarily remake it. They got to put changes to it. It's just really big issues that they need to fix. It's not remaking the map. It's nothing like that. Because the map, moving on to number 4 here, I'm going to say it mine real quick. I believe it's a full star because it stays within theme. And that's the only good part of this map, is that it does stay within theme. This is Unreal Tournament. However, I'm not going to give it any more than that. It stays within theme. That's pretty much its only good thing. So I don't know if you guys agree with me on that. That's up to you guys. But to me, it stays within theme. And that's why I don't think they really need to redesign the map. But they just need to redesign where they put health at, where they put ammo at, where they put certain things that we need to get by.
Like motherfucking hero closets.
Now, I think the main reason they didn't have hero closets was they're trying to recreate it as accurately as they could.
Which is a good point.
Yeah, but in fucking Unreal Tournament, you respawn.
Well, that's unless you're playing a single player. Unreal Tournament has several different Unreal games. They were using the idea of Unreal Tournament, but then there's Unreal Gold, which there was some inspiration from there. There was Unreal 2, which was The Awakening. There's some inspiration there. So you kind of have to figure those games in too, Dread.
Oh, I never played them.
Well, Unreal Gold was just a single player game. It was the predecessor to Unreal Tournament. And I seen a lot of the area look a lot like Unreal Gold, which is on Steam if you actually want to go after that too. It's not expensive. Anyway, let's get on to your. What do you think about the design? What do you do?
Yeah, it's a full set. It was unreal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with that.
Yeah. That's the only really good part of it. It does stay within theme. I can't knock it for that. Everything else, yeah, we can knock it down, but as far as theme goes, they were dead on.
Yeah, but the thing about the hero closets is that I saw some places where you could easily just put a hero closet in and be out of the way.
Yeah, that's true.
Like where those propane tanks were.
Yeah,
There
was a couple of places they could have done it, and they just didn't. That's a big issue, but what can we do? It's the creator's idea. Anyway, final one, recommendations. Could you recommend it, Q?
No, I can't.
Okay,
If it just becomes unfun at the end,
mm-hmm.
when you just lose the entertainment of the map, you failed. I don't want to play this map again very soon at all.
Yeah, I could agree with you. I mean, just based on the last about half hour, we were quiet. We were focusing. We couldn't say a fucking word because we were trying to get through that whole campaign, trying to beat it as fast as possible at that point.
We were trying to blitz it.
Yeah, and it just didn't work. Nothing we did worked. There was just, at that ending, it just, whenever we came up with strategy, fucked over. Every time. So, Dread, would you?
I can't recommend it because I was at the beginning. I was started thinking it was sort of like the Two Evil Eyes scenario where you guys decided to quit, and I thought I would go back and try to do it. Mm-hmm. If I played this map, I can't pull Two Evil Eyes. I don't think I would be able to pull this map off solo.
Yeah, I mean, as much as
the bots are too much of a hindrance. The bots would be too stupid to do anything.
Well, that's a big issue, but as much as I personally don't like Two Evil Eyes, at least Two Evil Eyes is doable on yourself by yourself.
Doable.
It's fucking doable because
I've done it.
It's just getting to the safe house where we got stuck before, and this is where I completely quit that map, was because we were going through a horde and we had to get to the safe room. And it constantly stops. That's that map. That's Two Evil Eyes. And we had a length problem. There was a horde constantly. That was a big issue I had with it, is that it felt so overwhelming that we couldn't get past it. Well, Dredd managed to do that by himself. And I applaud him for that, but I quit. It was the only map that I tried about 3 different occasions, played it on 3 different nights, and we always got stuck on. And I
We
just
even had one time we even had full 4 people.
yeah, we had
Just
full 4, and
it's
we
just
just still
that
couldn't
at
get
that
through.
one part you just have to time the using your pipe bombs and molotovs and stuff.
Yeah, and even in that one, that was doable. This one, they expect way too much of their player,
I
and
don't think we
even
do.
I agree with you guys. I'm not recommending this map to any player. I wouldn't recommend Two Evil Eyes unless you really wanted to try it out. But this one, as far as I can give it on being a fan of the Unreal Tournament, I want to give it that recommendation, but I just can't. Not even to Unreal Tournament fans because it doesn't fit. Um, Unreal Tournament is a game where you just have fun, you play with your friends. It should be part of the Left 4 Dead qualifying area.
You run around until someone gets a redeemer and starts.
Yeah, you just have fun. This map at that very last finale part is not fun. That finale part was like, oh, it looks interesting. We have fun. All of a sudden, as soon as you start, we lose Keo. We didn't even start the goddamn map, and he's already dead. That was a big issue. The second part of it is that we kept getting killed right on top when we were trying to go to the first castle. We got all died once. Then the next time we went there, we got past that only to die at the second part, which is the very final area, and we couldn't get past anywhere. We finally made it to the get aboard the ship part, and as soon as it hit for me, I died. As soon as it hit for any of us, we couldn't get past that area. It's just too overwhelming of a horde. They either need to break it down a bit, or they gotta speed up that fucking finale a bit, because that is a very unbalanced area, and that's where I have a big issue. It just won't be fun at that point. I can't see it being fun. I don't want to see it being fun at that point. Everything else about this map was doable, and it should have ended like 2 parts before where we got stuck.
It should have ended with the shuttle.
With the rocket, and then it gave us a boat afterwards, which is fine. Okay, they gave us 2 different finales, but at the same time, it seemed like they didn't make up their fucking mind.
Towards the end, it was just finale after finale because we had 3 people and a bot. We were struggling so damn hard. I bet even if we had full 4 people, we would still be playing forever.
We'd be struggling. Even if we got some of the best players, we would be struggling because it's not the player's fault. It's just the fact that there's way too much involved. It's overwhelming the map. Yeah, it doesn't want to give you that win. It's like, okay, here's a tank right when we start with no ammo. We have a fucking melee weapon, and that's it. We could do it, yes, but we don't have health. B, we don't have the ammo. C, we can't just take on a tank right as we start the goddamn map. And it happened like, what, 5 different times?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, and then on top of that, there are scripted ones on that finale. There's at least 4 different scripted ones outside of the finale itself. The finale part. That's it.
Then there was that one
just getting to
during
there.
And then there was that one part at the beginning towards the, I think it was the second part. We opened that door. There's 2 freaking tanks in there, and then we get a horde.
Yeah, it's
and then next time we're prepared. I got my pipe on. I'm gonna take care of the horde, but there's no horde and there's only 1 tank.
Yeah, suddenly you have this different difficulty change. There's things where you gotta fix your difficulties and make it fun.
The difficulty is,
and then you're trying to make it. Oh, I could do this. I doubt you can. Whoever created this map, I doubt he completed this map unless he played it on the easiest fucking mode, and he played with 4 people, because I think they would still be struggling but barely win it. We were playing on normal, and that's where it's completely unbalanced.
Playing on some super modded ass server with all kinds of fucked up mods.
Yeah.
Or just you could have been playing a mutation to beat it.
Yeah, there's just stuff like that. We're playing on a normal setting where we just play, okay, let's play a campaign. We don't want to use mods. We try to stay away from that. That's why we use local server. We can't use officials, which kind of sucks, but we have no choice. So I always use a local server just so we can play it. we make sure that we are not using any special mods. We make sure it's fair as possible so that you guys can actually play it fair. And this is how you should play it, how we could complete it. This map, you just can't do it that way. I mean, yeah, we got up there. We managed to get past the first 6 parts of it, and we almost managed to get past the 7th, which is the final part, but it just was unforgiving on that final one.
It's only if you're willing to put the time in to actually attempt to see the ending.
Yeah, and at that point, after we restarted about 4 different times on that finale, I gave up. I said, I'm not doing this again. Not for at least a couple of days. At the minimum. I don't want to try this again. I want to kind of get away from it, kind of cool down, maybe come up with a different strategy. That's kind of the idea here, is that this map is mainly trying to be progression, but it's not working in a Left 4 Dead 2 idea. It doesn't work that way. It's not a single-player campaign. Okay? We've played maps that are like that. We managed to beat those maps. But again, those maps were quite balanced, too.
Unlike this, when at the finale it gives you an assload of defibrillators, but there's also spots where you can get killed where you can't use them.
Exactly. All 3 of us have the same amount. It's 1.5 stars out of 5. This is a completed map. This is not one of those ones where I can give it any chance. It's not like the previous one, which I said was a beta. I want to play that one again because it was fun. It was a tower defense design. It worked. The main reason why I would recommend that one again and give it another try,
because it was interesting.
It was interesting. I want to see that be involved, and it's in beta, so it's going to be worked on. This one is a completed map. The guy's
probably never going to touch it again unless someone actually shows him our review or he sees another person's review.
He has to see these parts and try to fix it, and then he can say it's in the final stage as completed map. Because this is not completed. He has got a lot of bugs, a lot of problems.
It's like beta that hasn't been tested yet.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why we are kind of like the beta testers on these maps. We kind of want to see, okay, what are they trying to accomplish, and did they accomplish that? This map failed in all parts. It failed on its length. It failed on its infected.
It failed continuity.
The only thing it succeeded in was its theme. That's all. It did not give it a chance. This is one of those maps where, hey, even if we completed it, to be honest, we'd probably still give it the same rating. It's one of those ones where we cannot recommend it because no one's going to have fun by the end of this. At the first one, yeah, it's kind of funny. We all die a couple times. Yeah, we get over it. Then we have a part where it's jumped up in difficulty to almost expert level. And that's not fair. Especially when it's a normal level map.
You know what this map makes me think?
What is that?
This map seems like the thing that someone will pull out at a LAN party when he wants to clear it out. He'll just make everyone play it and just frustrate them to the point where they go, okay, we're heading home. We're done with this LAN party.
Yeah, it's just, overall, this map is not a good one. It was promising when we all looked at it as like, Unreal Tournament. This might be interesting. I like Unreal Tournament because I'm a big fanboy of that thing. It was my very first FPS genre that I got into. So it's close to heart. It's one of those games where it's very close to heart. So I'm really excited to see this kind of map. And then what it turns out, it's like a spit to my face. It's a spit to anybody who is a fan of the Unreal series. It's not fair. I mean, there's a reason why I liked Unreal Tournament. It was because it was always balanced. It always stayed fair. This one isn't. I can't give it anything more. So in
terms of being a fan, I'm probably casual when it comes to Unreal Tournament because I only have the games. I never really play them.
Well, I'm not a hardcore one. I'm kind of in the middle of it. Like, I'll play them if I feel like it.
Probably not one of those hardcore guys that play online all the time that could probably just destroy noobs easily.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play Unreal 2004 every now and then just because, hey, I feel like sniping heads, and I can play with the mods, just kind of play, and I'll play single player out of that. I wouldn't play the multiplayer one, because there's either going to be those people that are awesomely great, or these rage-tastic people, and that's
They're
just not
just
fun.
way too overpowered.
Mm-hmm. And this one kind of puts me in the point where, yeah, we rage quit, but we had a valid reason why we rage quit. And you will see that in the review, the playthrough. That's all you're going to see.
Well, Kyo's footage.
And I may be recording this review. Kyo is going to be putting up the footage for it because he wants to kind of get...
Because you said you didn't want to put it up.
I didn't want to put it up because of a couple of reasons. One, I don't have very superb internets to do that. Two, I don't have the space on my hard drive to constantly make video. So Kyo's kind of my backup when it comes to the playthrough parts. And so you're going to see his point of view, and yes, he has special skins for a lot of the characters. That's because that's his fandom, okay? We don't... Dread and Kyo, they don't like each other because of, well, MLP. Just leave it at that.
I don't think I would call it dislike.
You guys kind of are
Disagree.
neutral when it comes to that, because one of you hates it, the other one, he doesn't give a fuck about it. He just likes it. So, overall, we tried this map. We're moving on. We'll maybe play this a few days down the line, see if we can try it again. But
Hopefully
right now, we're done.
We'll be playing a fun map.
Right now, we're done. We're going to try to move on to our next map another time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. We don't know. It's going to take us some time to get over this one.
We need to go back and lick our wounds from this.
Yeah, we kind of just need to cleanse the palate, kind of get off that, and take out our rage on a different map. But yeah. Anyway, we're done. Hope you enjoyed this review. Hopefully you'll enjoy Kyo's videos, because he's posted them up. His is going to be different quality, but that's because he's using his own settings. So you're going to have to deal with them. If it's out of sync, we don't know why. It's that.
And unfortunately, I don't really think I can put up videos.
Well, yeah, don't worry about you, Dread. Anyway, see you later, and please enjoy our
Bye-bye.
videos.
Watch our other videos. They're probably better than this one.
Probably.